No.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
All right, welcome back to Crit Couch. I'm Michael.
I'm still really excited about cheese.
Yep, he only ate half the block, he informed me.
Yeah.
Which just meant the fiber worked doubly as well for him.
Well, I only took enough fiber for half a block of cheese.
Well, I did... Be prepared, Skylar. Be prepared.
No, you know what? To all our viewers out there, be prepared for eventually your gut to not work the way you want it to. And eat a lot of fucking broccoli. And make sure your fiber is good.
Dude, broccoli's good. I love broccoli.
Yeah, broccoli's awesome.
And that wasn't like I got older and started liking broccoli. Like, I've liked broccoli since I was a
I
kid.
really like broccoli now.
And now that my tongue doesn't work right anymore, I sure do love these strange florets.
I've also become British suddenly.
British people don't talk like this.
I don't know what that accent is. I like it though.
I don't know.
Anytime I do like an old person voice, I'm just doing what your wife, whenever she does like cranky old lady sound.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like weird like floating
Oh, Micah.
weird floating cloud dude is basically my wife's voice. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's the inspiration. Yeah.
Explains a lot actually.
It's interpretive. Your wife likes to show up, give you some esoteric advice, and fucking bail.
Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever works.
Maybe you should find the garage. The garage. Okay, see ya.
Why don't
Nimbus away.
God, I'm trying to think of like just his like just that old man's random like, did you go see this?
What?
Because like it's not even as specific like as like if Allie was like, did you see the garage? You know, it's like maybe you should go to the north and look for a candy bar. Like what? Like
That
what?
almost sounds like Deckard Cain.
Stay a while and listen.
Roughly Sean Connery-esque.
Yeah,
My
that's
favorite
quite
thing.
a treasure you have there in that Horadric cube. I always loved that shit. Like, this is Diablo 2, like, because I guess Deckard Cain is dead now in Diablo 3.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for an 8-9-year-old game that,
Yeah.
like, everybody was pissed at for multiple years. But yeah, like,
Yeah, I remember that.
like,
It's pretty fun now.
like every fucking time he's like, that's quite a treasure you've got there in that Horadric cube.
Played
Just
a-
the cube thing cracked me up.
Played a
every
lot
time.
of Diablo 2 back in the day.
I did too. People will probably be mad about this. I do not think it holds up as well as a lot of people do. I know some of it's just like, for many people, it's like the nostalgia of the game. There's a lot of stuff in that game that it honestly frustrated me back then because, and part of this is just, as somebody who likes to min-max, and somebody who, like, doesn't like shit to go wrong, so I picked the right game for the first one in our long-term games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got real frustrated with the skill system, and I know they eventually added in respecking in Diablo 2, but like, because you could dump so many skill points into something before you got to a point where you knew it wasn't worthwhile, like, I mean, I guess some people's perspective on that is like, ooh, that just means I get to start a new character over, and for me it's like, I have spent so many hours.
Oh, I have to start a new character over now.
Yeah, like,
Because I know eventually they offered a respec, but that wasn't part of the initial game.
no, not for years. And
Yeah.
even then, the respecs, I think you only got one per difficulty. Like,
Yeah.
you went to Adria after, and I think it was after you
You
completed
could like
the-
hold on to them, but that
Yeah,
was it.
yeah, like Adria would always have it, but once you had to like complete that difficulty.
Didn't she turn out to be an asshole in the third game too?
Yeah, because Blizzard's like whole MO with a lot of their storytelling is like, look, everything loops back around. Which is not okay.
No, this is what I was hoping for.
No, like real talk on storytelling. This is like a broader storytelling point because this is some shit that pisses me off.
You were like suddenly awake. You're like ready for this.
Oh, this is like a programmed rant. I'm pretty sure. Like there are fucking like warning circuits in my brain that like once you plug in, it's like the juice just goes poof, and I'm like fuck that. But so like with narrative stuff, this is one of the reasons that like
I'm just gonna get real comfy here.
the like the first like the Star Wars prequels. You're gonna have to move that mic down, buddy.
No, you keep talking.
Yeah.
I got this.
But yeah, it's one of the reasons that like the Star Wars prequels, among many, and I will preface this by saying that like
We both enjoyed the Star Wars prequels.
yes,
Right?
I do not.
Did you make this?
Not gonna respond to that. I don't dislike the prequels as much as most people, nor am I like as obsessed with the original trilogy as most people on average. So like, I think Star Wars is cool. I have no like real sentiment toward it beyond ooh cool laser swords. Which isn't to say I don't appreciate the work. It's not to say I don't appreciate the cultural impact, but it's just not that big a deal for me. Like Jar Jar Binks is stupid, but like whatever. I mean, this is a universe that had Ewoks in it, and I didn't have a problem with Ewoks, like because that was also a universe that had like a giant talking cousin It.
Oh, perfect.
That looked like a dog. Like, I mean, Chewie is just a gigantic cousin It from the Addams Family. Like, that's just all he is. And like, even that the first movie, like all the weird ass aliens that were up on the stage, some of those just looked like cartoon characters. So whatever, there was already precedent for it. Anyway, one of the things that really fucked up structurally, I think, the prequel trilogy, is that George Lucas got way too far into the everything is connected, and that pisses me off on just a general level, because like what that means is this multi-planet intergalactic empire for like 30 Earth years, I guess, or like more than that really, because got like more like 60 Earth years, whatever time frame that represents, is completely.
What is that little hole in the ground?
I think if I step on those, I fall down to the floor below.
Okay.
Is completely dictated by a closed loop of a single family. Like, everything keeps coming back to the Skywalkers, and not just in the like, oh, our bloodline is strong and this stuff happened, but the like, oh, I built C-3PO, and look, C-3PO existed, you know, in part of this story as well, like all these years ago, and then C-3PO exists in the future as well, and not only that, but R2-D2 has a key missing piece. Like, the stories, which was an issue I had with The Force Awakens. Now, I didn't have many issues. Like, my only issue really with The Force Awakens was the retreading of how much it did. I didn't really have any other problems with it. But so, like, from a narrative perspective, that really sucks, because what you've done is you've closed the loop of your world, and it makes everything feel smaller. Like, everything feels just worse, I think. Now, you get the kind of like, oh shit moments where it's like, oh yeah, like they're connected. That's like, holy shit, I care about these characters, and now I find out all these new connections, but you eventually run out of reasonable connections to make. Mm-hmm. And it reaches a level of like impossible intertwining and it also cuts off a lot of.
I can tell you're excited because you're like bouncing your legs around.
I've been doing that the whole time.
And the couch is not quite as vigorously because, like, well, I'm like laid back now. Y'all can't see me, but I'm.
Nah, he might as well be laying down.
Yeah, I'm comfy as a motherfucker.
He's got a pillow.
Well, I always have this pillow.
Yeah, it was on the floor last time.
Oh yeah, maybe. But actually, so did you like Rogue One then as like the prequel?
I
Did you see
didn't
Rogue
care
One?
about Rogue One, to be
okay.
honest. Like, I mean, I watched it. So here's my thing. Like, I am not really that into the Star Wars universe.
That's fair.
Like, conceptually, I like a lot of the stuff,
Yeah.
but
And by the way, I just want to rephrase what he said. He said he's not into the Star Wars universe. Not he killed your mom because you like Star Wars. Just before that
I mean,
goes off.
you don't know my life. But the Star Wars part of it's because so much of the Star Wars universe feels like constant retreading of the same ground. Like whether that be narrative things linked to the main trilogy, like the original trilogy, or whether it just be constant callbacks to the same thing. It's like all of the Jedi stories, like the Jedi, the only interesting thing that ever happens to a Jedi is they get tempted by the dark side. Like, because Jedi's entire MO is to be the most boring, meddlesome shit weasels in the galaxy. Like their whole order is just like, we can't feel emotion and we can't do anything interesting. By the way, do you have these trade agreements going on? Because I don't think so. It's like, fuck off, Jedi. Like, go be cool. Like, you know.
I always thought of him as like space police force. But they're
Which
really
isn't
not
what they're
that.
supposed to be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the whole problem is that, like, their whole, like, weird, like, these ascetics that are, you know, we're these basically, like, space monks. Like, guys, just, like, go brew some space beer or something. Like, be like the Belgians. Come on. Like,
We made Jedi mead.
Yeah.
We used force bees to make force honey.
that sounds... Man, when the Force is the name of your super magic power, that starts getting real weird.
Force is
We used force bees to force honey. It's like, like everything is just. I get that it's like Newtonian force in a sense,
Yeah.
but still, like, we made them do the thing. It's not a. Like, there's some like serious ethical breaches with the way Jedi behave. Oh, you didn't see me piss in that corner? I certainly didn't see you piss in that corner, sir. Oh, all right.
I actually really liked that part in the first one.
that.
And you'll drop your gun, and I'll drop my gun.
Oh, you mean
When Ray, like...
Yeah. No, that was. And that's the thing. They make for really cool moments, and well, and actually, I think part of why I dig the way that went down is because, like, I actually like the kind of subversion and the, like, rejection of the order in the sense that, like, it is just an order. Like, it's a bunch of people who decided these were their rules, and those rules might not be as clear cut. Like, that's the interesting stuff. The interesting stuff is always in the gray zone. Now, like, and maybe that's really the problem that I always have is that there's this weird line where stuff that is like pure fairy tale and fantasy can be like really cool because you get to see really cool things happen, but a lot of it is dependent on there not really being fundamental change. Like, it's plot driven as opposed to character driven. It's like I go to place X and do this thing because this other thing happened, and now I go to place Y and do this thing because that thing happened. Like, it doesn't require character growth. In fact, it often doesn't want character growth because character growth can interfere with the direction of the plot.
That's kind of my problem with The Walking Dead. I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, actually, probably gonna have to get to that. next time on Crit Catch after I figure out where the fuck I'm going.
Nah, dog, it's time for a nap.
Next time on Crit Catch, I don't let Skylar take a nap.
Yeah.
He's trying to take a nap.
Yeah, let's see you fucking stop me.
Oh, I can stop you. Kaylee already did that, man. You can't do that twice. Can't do that twice.